The answer for this should be 68, and for the bonus that was read off screen, it was 14. Pick a number from 1 to 5. The winning number is 2. If you have all your work shown for all the problems on the homework, then you can bring it up now. So 8 present, 8 with homework, that is 100%. Very good. We're going to read off the answers, so check mark the ones that you get right, and then we'll go back and look at the work and answer questions after we go through the answers. Number 1 is 4 minus 2i, and don't forget that you must have your answers in the form a plus bi. The imaginary number must come second. 2 is 15 minus 16i. 3 is 17 minus 17i. 4 is 5 plus 5i. 5 is negative 2i. 6 is negative 2 plus 6i. 7 is 6 minus 6i. 8 is negative 4 plus I. 9 is negative 9 plus 6i. 10 is 20 plus 5i. Today's objective. Know there is a complex number I such that I squared equals negative 1, and every complex number has the form a plus bi with a and b real numbers. Today's knowledge targets. Define I as square root of negative 1, or I squared equals negative 1. Define complex numbers. Write complex numbers in the form a plus bi with a and b being real numbers. And this will be the one that we spend most of the time on today, making sure that we can write the complex numbers in the proper form after we finish the problem. Here's example 1. I squared times the quantity I to the third minus I to the second. So we're going to start here. I squared times I to the third. What is I squared times I to the third? I to the fifth. Then we're going to go I squared times minus I squared. What do I get when I multiply I squared times minus I squared? I get what? They don't cancel out. When you multiply when the letters are the same, you add the exponents. What should it be? He's right. Negative I to the fourth, which is just minus I to the fourth. Alright. So from there we have to simplify that. What is I to the fifth going to simplify to? Do you know what I to the fourth is? I to the fourth is 1, so we go up another one, it should be what? Just I. Right, so I to the fifth is I. And we know that I to the fourth, any multiple of 4 in the exponent is going to give us a positive 1. Don't forget that minus sign was already there. So I to the fourth is indeed 1. That doesn't mean that I to the fourth became negative 1. It means it's positive 1, and we already had the minus sign there. But this isn't the right form. We have to have it in the form a plus bi. So your imaginary term and the sign in front of it. What's the sign in front of I?
1.
Not 1, the sign. Plus, right. So it's plus I, so that goes second. And what goes in front? Negative 1. Yeah, so this is the right form there. Example 2. Negative I to the fourth times the quantity 2I to the third plus I to the fifth. When I multiply these two items together, what do I get?
Negative 2I to the 7th.
That's right, negative 2I to the 7th. Now, what do I get when I multiply these two items together? There's no I in there, or there's no 2 in there, I should say. Yeah, negative I to the 9th, you got to add the exponents, right. So negative 2I to the 7th minus I to the 9th. So we have to go through here and simplify. What is I to the 7th? Yes, it's negative I. So we have a negative 2 and a negative I multiplied together. We'll go back and simplify that after we do I to the 9th. What is I to the 9th? I, that's right. So now when we simplify the front part, we have a negative 2 times a negative I. What is that? Positive 2I, right. And then we're left with an I. So we have 2I minus I. The terms are the same. If the exponents are the same, you can simplify them. So what's 2I minus I? That's right, 1I. So we just write 1. Or not 1. We just write a single I. And this is it. This is in the proper form because remember it's A plus BI, but there is no A term. It's 0. That's why we don't write it, because all the constants are gone. Alright, if we multiply this by this, we get negative 8I to the 5th. And then this by this, we get plus 4I to the 6th. So when we simplify I to the 5th, it is I. And we'll simplify I to the 6th as negative 1. So that's going to give us a minus 4I. Or not a 4I, but just a minus 4. But we have to switch them, so it's negative 4 minus 8I. The answer for this bonus should be 49. On the practice, when we multiply these two together, we get a positive I to the 7th. And then multiplying these two together, we get a plus 2I to the 4th. Now, I to the 7th is going to be a negative I. And I to the 4th is 1. So we have negative I plus 2, but we have to reverse that to get 2 minus I. (16) divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. If you square that 12, it's 144. And then minus 25 is going to be 119. Did you multiply 12 by 2 to get 24 and then subtract 25? That's why. That's how you'd end up with negative 1. Just walk by with the answer and show it to me. I to the 6th is a negative 1, and you already have a negative sign out there. So double negative makes it 1. Try this one. the I to the fourth is going to be 1. And you have a negative sign out in front of it. So it's just a negative 1. Try this one. This is a negative I. So if you multiply it by negative 3, you get a positive 3i. Here's example number 3. Now, you're going to multiply like we did before. And this is nothing more than doing twice the work of what we just did. In the previous examples and practice problems, you did something that was like this times each of these over here. Now you're just doing it twice because you've got this one multiplied by all those, and then this one multiplied by all those. Then you have to simplify them. So we'll do it one piece at a time. You start with 3i squared times 2i. What is 3i squared times 2i?
6i.
That's right, 6i to the third. So we stay with the 3i squared and multiply it by this. What is 3i squared times a minus 4i to the sixth?
Negative 12i to the 8th.
That's right, negative 12i to the 8th. Now we're done with that first item here. So this one's finished. What we're going to do now is go to the minus I to the third. And we're going to multiply that by 2i. So what's negative I to the third times 2i? Negative 2i to the fourth is right. And what is negative I to the third times negative 4i to the sixth?
Negative 4i to the 9th.
Not a negative.
Not positive.
Positive 4i to the ninth is right. So now you have to go back through and simplify each term if possible. So we'll start with this one. What is I to the third? It's a negative I. So you have negative I times 6, negative 6i. What is I to the eighth? 1 is right. So you're left with the minus 12. What is I to the fourth? 1, so we just have minus 2. And what is I to the ninth? It is I, so we have plus 4i. Now we have to do some simplifying here. We have negative 12 minus 2. That's a negative 14. And then negative 6i plus 4i is minus 2i. And we are in the right form, a plus bi. On the practice problem, you should start with this and this, which is negative 6i to the fourth, and then go here to get negative 2i to the sixth. Go to this one and get negative 12i to the seventh, and then to here to get negative 4i to the ninth. This is 1, so you have a negative 6. This is negative 1, and times a negative 2 is plus 2. 7 is going to be a negative I. So you have negative I times negative 12, which is plus 12i. And then I to the ninth is I, so it's minus 4i. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4, and 12i minus 4i is 8i. A squared. What's negative 1 squared?
1.
Just 1. Yeah, positive 1. And then B is negative 2. Then we have A, negative 1. What is negative 2 squared? 4. So we have negative 2 from 1 times negative 2 plus a negative 4 from this. Should be negative 6.